Because I've been the person that everybody wants to come to. The one that's always there no matter what. Yeah, I have been so many people's ride or die. When my moment came to have that exchange take place, where were they? And it is in those moments. Hey now, how is everybody doing? Welcome to Red Alert Diaries, the Tanya E hood. I'm wondering if you are feeling the chaos that's happening in this world, and if you are a heart-centered soul, your natural desire is to want to help out everybody around you. But you may find yourself in two emotional moments at this time. One, where you feel like you have got to help out because so many people are struggling through this moment, trying to figure out how to get to the next point. And if that's the case, then you're still trying to figure out how you can be a better support system. And for others, your heart-centered soul wants to help out so much, but you have already been doing it. You've been constantly helping, constantly supporting. So now there's a stretching that you don't even know you want to keep moving through. So today, I want to help you reset. Because having been in that moment where I want to help out as much as I can, but recognize that there's only so much I can do. I so love that your heart-centered soul wants to be a support system for everybody around you. But I also want you to be in a position where you are strengthened the same way that you strengthen everybody else. And so, here's a strategy that you can use that I have used to support me on my journey as well. Because I've been the person that everybody wants to come to. The one that's always there no matter what. Yeah, I have been so many people's ride or die. When my moment came to have that exchange take place, where were they? And it is in those moments for those heart-centered souls like us that when we give so much and we find that it is not returned when we need it, it makes you feel some type of way. A moment of loneliness can set in, a moment of depression can set in, but I want you to know that you can still be the support system that your heart-centered being is always striving to do and still be okay in the process. So what I learned to do is set limits. Set limits on the amount of help and support that you're going to give to others. Because if you give more than you need to give, longer than you need to give it, like I have on multiple moments of my life, you'll find that you are fostering bad behavior. And that person that you're trying to help, a part of you believes if I get you through this moment, you can get yourself through the next. But you could be fostering bad behavior where they are using you as their platform instead of doing the stretching and the strengthening that they need for themselves to move into a better direction. So set limits. Limits on the amount of time that you will give, limits on the amount of help that you will provide, limits so that you won't be used in the process. Because see, a heart-centered soul, you're just naturally built to give. And because of your natural desire to help support, people know that. And they're going to reach out to you. And in this environment, especially in the United States, where we're walking through a space where people are finding themselves in a position where their jobs are being hampered, the skill sets that they have, they're not sure how they can move forward and provide that. In this moment, where chaos seems to be reigning, I want you to know that your heart-centered soul designed to give and support can still do what you need to do, what you have been built to do, what you're naturally designed to do, but limited. Setting limits often pauses us and allows us to reset. Setting limits does not mean that you are not going to be able to support, but it's those that are trying to reach out for you for support recognize that, yeah, you're a blessing in the storm of chaos that rises up, but they also have to participate in their own rescue. So set the limits for yourself so that you can stay whole. Set the limits for them so that they can get bold. Set the limits and know that it's okay. It does not take away from you being you. I think of it more as a way of you truly enhancing who you are at the core of your being, because you will be seen as a support that you always have been, but you'll also be recognized as a powerhouse and a strength. So that when people come to you, they recognize this is a reservoir that I can tap into to get filled up if I need to be filled up. But I recognize at this moment, when I go to this person, that heart-centered being, they're going to be there for a period of time. And they're going to give me the strength that I need to run the rest of this race for myself. Because here's something that we sometimes forget, being the heart-centered soul, because you naturally are designed to support, to help, and to give. You feel sometimes that you are the only help, the only hope. But I want you to know that there are others that are built, maybe not to the capacity that you are, because there's a skill set that is only unique to your being. But if you're always going to someone's rescue, when will they learn to stand? When will they get insight that they have to participate? Here's the next level note I want to share with you. There's a story that I love about how to let those that are heart-centered, wanting to help, wanting to support, wanting to give, recognize how you can be a better support system to those around you. You see, in this story, there was this man who was designated as the leader to take this group of people to their land of inheritance. And when he was taking them there, they had already been told and they were already aware that this is yours. But when they got to where they were seeking their blessing, the part of their blessing that they knew was theirs, someone else was in their territory. Someone else was occupying their land. And the thing that they knew was theirs, was told was theirs, had clarity that it was their inheritance. They still had to fight. They had to fight some of the past pieces of their existence. Because when you are walking through some of the changes in your world, those moments in your past that show up that cause you to feel like you're all alone. Those moments in your past that show up that make you feel a little bit depressed because you thought that you had already conquered this. And here it is once again. Yeah, there are parts of our lives that resurrect themselves. Not so much because we did not fight the first time. Sometimes there's a resurrection because you have to go deeper. What part of your past may become in your present that you have to go deeper in? And you're spending so much time helping everybody else get to their breakthrough that in the quiet moments that you find yourself in, those moments that often make you feel lonely, you're fighting this battle by yourself. And see, here's the thing. As much as you give to others, I want you to know you can be open to others pouring into you. So be the heart-centered soul that pours into others, but be open enough to let someone else pour into you. Because when you let somebody else pour into you, then the group of you together can fight that thing that's come back. So in this story, when this heart-centered leader was going back into a space and place that was promised to them, they had to fight some battles. And he had them participate on the journey. You see, the thing that helps us get through some of the victories that we have is not just you being the only one pouring into somebody else. It's you being a collective environment. That moment of support may simply be encouraging them to stand up to fight for themselves. And if you are fighting a similar battle, then y'all can gird up each other's shoulders and fight together. We often forget that even in our strength, a strength of us being there to help others through the process, because your heart-centered soul has a strength of being the calm in somebody else's war, being the place of support that everybody goes to. And if you are in a space in this current environment where the thing that you typically do to pour into others while they are walking through the warfare that is happening right here, right now, today, maybe you can switch gears just a little bit and allow your strength to be an empowerment to them to stand, because you can't fight this battle for them. For some individuals that are walking through some of the pieces that's happening in their world today, your strength of being the support system for them may just be, hey, let me walk you through from here some things. Take step one of moving through this process. Because typically in your past, you could have walked in that step with them and you're not able to. Because now you may be the one that needs someone to pour into you and take that step with you. So if you find yourself in a position where you are in the midst of your own battles, having been able to support everybody else in theirs, that stretching that you may be feeling, pause, put a limit on it, and give the instruction Because the blessing may be, just like in this story, you encouraging them to stand and fight the battle that they need for themselves. Because a past moment may be resurrecting itself, or a new battle that they should be prepared for. Because you have never stopped supporting, you have never stopped giving, you have always been there to ensure that the victory could be won. Now, let them walk into the battle plains. You've gone through level 1 of the battle with them and they have gained some victory. Now, when they get to the next port where they have to fight, level 2, you may have to stand off and say, hey, let's regroup, let's reset. This is what you can do. And then you limit it there. That will give you the opportunity to still be strong enough through the process to support them on the journey and not get yourself burnt out or foster bad behavior. Because there are some people that know if they say, I really need support, I really need the help, no matter what, you will still step in because it's become familiar to you and familiar to them. So set the limits that you need so that you can be empowered through the process and they can get empowered as well. And so for today, if you don't remember anything else I've shared, here's what I want you to remember. Your heart-centered soul is uniquely designed to support and give, and that's good. And if you have constantly been doing it for everybody else all the time, sitting on the edge of my bed trying to figure out how did I get here, but I knew there was a way of getting through this. So I decided to do an autopsy on my marriage. Red Alert, is he the one? The pocket guide to finding a love of your life. The free chapter is available for you in the link below. Put a limit on it. Doesn't mean that you still won't help, but that limit will give you a chance to let your reservoir be filled. And if you are the one that's like, how can I help? Supply the help that you have typically been supplying, but limit it so that you don't pour out more than you need to pour, longer than you need to do it, and they can get empowered through the process. And so, if any of this has resonated with you, then it's time to reset. So comment, and share this with others. If you want someone to join you on the journey, feel free to go to my website, TanyaEhood.com. There you can click on the Work With Me tab and see the various ways that we can work with one another. And for this season, we will be live on LinkedIn at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we can be seen in several different areas because I've learned how to go live in a couple different places, and I would love for you to join me on the journey. So if you would like to join me, comment below, Tanya, I want to join you for the extended conversation, and we can expand our thoughts, expand our insight, expand our strengths to support one another through the journey. Because your heart-centered soul has a way of making certain just showing up is enough. In the meantime, this is Tanya E. Hood, walking in my purpose, and I want you to do the same.